Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Trinity Continuum rules by Onyx Path Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try hard to stick to language for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes and various hijinks. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. And now, on with the show. Thank you for joining us again, another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am normally your keeper or handler, Mike, but tonight I'm going to be turning the command chair over to James, who's going to lead us through a fantastic continuing of our Trinity Continuum series. So, James, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. Tonight, we're going to start the first episode of Trinity Continuum Aeon. It's a little bit future. Well, actually, a lot future, which is fantastic. So before we get on to this grand adventure, let's see who we're adventuring with. To my proverbial right.
Hi, this is Miranda, and I'm playing ship's captain, Eva Howard, survivalist of the group, though I like to consider... I run a pretty tight ship, I think. Captain Eva Howard has some special abilities that you'll learn about in the form of some teleportation.
Ooh. Next at the table.
This is Morgan. I play Karina Oakenwick. I am a doctor. I got kicked off my last ship for partaking in some of the medicines we keep on board. However, my good cousin, the captain, was able to secure me a position on the ship, which I will forever be grateful for. But I still might partake in some extra. I might need some extra help with some drugs.
Okay. Captain sibling, interesting, and a doctor that partakes of illicit substances. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll have to see. That I don't know how that feels wrong somehow. Next at the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Atticus White, and I am the ship's pilot navigator, and I tend to bounce around free-spirited and manage to hook up, get this job from a good friend of mine.
Would that good friend be the last person at the table?
It indeed might be. Hi, this is Mike. I'm playing Lucian Hendricks. I am the crew's communications expert. We'll just say that Lucian has a predilection for getting people into and out of trouble, which may or may not be the way I know Atticus. It's mostly classified. In fact, it's not at all classified after a few drinks. But what's important is that we're all going to get through this one way or the other.
To quote a famous musician, one way or another, you will get through this. You have just lifted your hand off of the comm button, Lucian, and you are waiting for a response from an approaching large facility on an asteroid that you would say is, well, scanners have shown you that it's around 27 kilometers across, drifting in the fringe, what old Earthers used to call the asteroid belt. Atticus, you are obviously currently at the helm and paying rapt attention to not just one or two, but 7 or 8 different screens that are giving you telemetry from the outside of the hull from various places, tracking 300 separate moving objects around the hull, all gently drifting like motes of dust in a sunbeam. Any one of them capable of damaging the hull in some fashion.
So another walk in the park then.
Oh, sure. This is just like the simulations that you did right after you got your pilot's license some years ago. And you're pretty sure you did pretty well at them. Besides, doing it live is always more efficient.
Right. And if I do mess up, we won't be alive long enough to complain about it.
He says aloud to no one in particular, although Lucian is fairly close at comms.
Well, I mean, it could be just a glancing blow, and that would give us hours to die here in the
suffocating void of space.
Yeah, I see you thought this through.
Oh, yeah.
Captain, this conversation is going on as you are zeroing in on a location that you know to be called Ouroboros Station.
What do I know about Ouroboros Station?
Casting your mind back for a moment, you remember 3 days ago, you were given a task by your connections at Opeo Wamacho. You were woken out of a slumber from your bunk as the shrill alarm of your OpNet message service was going off, vibration going off, interrupted you from a fairly lucrative dream.
Doing lots of trades then.
Oh, sure. Yes, there was trades galore. From what you remember of the dream, it was fantastic. But what was even more fantastic was the offer that your connections at Apeo had sent to you, which was triple your standard rate for an investigation mission.
Did they send me some sort of dossier? Any background on what I would be getting my crew into in this case?
They gave you a full dossier on where you were going, which is a place called Ouroboros Station. Now, this is classified information as far as you know. They made you sign a non-disclosure agreement as per usual, but this one seemed a lot thicker than usual. You had to scroll a lot longer before you could click yes.
Check that box.
Yeah, if the amount of scrolling equals the amount of danger you're in legally for revealing what you're doing, you are screwed if you give this up. So, after you did click the box, they gave you facility photographs of a fairly large research facility that is on an asteroid out in the fringe. The asteroid's name is K4-315. It's large enough to have a designation, which should tell you something. Usually ones this large are kept or investigated for mineral-rich deposits of old frozen water. This one shows no signs that it was ever researched for any of those things, but it obviously was stable enough that they built a facility and a facility safety cage around it. A large structure that keeps the facility buildings safe from the worst kind of collisions should it happen.
This is a investigative mission. What's mission objective, essentially?
You bring up the mission objective on your console as you're listening to Atticus and Lucian talk about the cold, unforgiving void of space and how it likes to suck all of the gases out of you before it turns you into a frozen raisin. Often banter that happens right before landing. What Opeo wants you to do is make contact with Ouroboros Station, assess what has happened there, return any information as to the condition and whereabouts of the several hundred facility workers, and return any and all research on Project Quad.
As we got into comms range or when we get into comms range, I would ask whoever's in charge of that.
In fact, you did. The phrase, Ouroboros Station, please respond. So,
are you getting anything back from them, Lucian?
Lucian, you have said it once. Are you going to repeat?
Yeah, let me give them another dose of the medicine, as we like to call it. Ouroboros Station, this is the Persephone. Do you read us?
A few moments of static. Persephone, it's just an order station, landing, and docking permission and landing coordinates are sent to the Aeon on the ship for Atticus's purposes.
Fantastic, they're not all dead.
Well, not yet.
Right. I'm sure we can help with that. You know, I hear these deep space research stations do some really wild stuff out here. There's probably some kind of xenomorphs or something out here eating everybody in the station.
It's not the xenomorphs I worry about. Not at all. Are you familiar with old Earth legends about how some submarine folks used to get along?
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Real aggressive.
Oh, turn on each other?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes.
Yeah, it could be anything, really.
I think one of them turns around.
Dr. Oakenwick, you arrive on the bridge during this conversation.
Okay. Are we there yet?
Do you have to every fucking time you come on this bridge, you ask us if we're there yet?
Hey, you know what? If you ask that one more time, I'm turning the ship around.
Well, unless we start shooting people, I have nothing else to do. Well, actually, I can go away if you want. I got a new shipment in.
No, we're pretty sure that they've turned on each other and have started eating each other. So you'll probably be needed.
But if that's the case, then one of the cannibals has cleared us for landing, and that is what's important.
Cannibals? There's cannibals? Oh my God, I did not sign up for this.
It's unlikely. It's an unlikely possibility, but there's always a percentage chance.
Are you going to give me a weapon? Can I take a weapon with me?
Your brains are your weapon, Doctor.
Fine. I'll go get my stuff.
Atticus, you enter the information into the landing part of the comm. The ship orients itself properly over the landing zone and begins its leveled descent. After a moment or two, you guys feel the shift from the artificial gravity inside the shift to the artificial gravity field around the asteroid. There's a moment of not exactly queasiness, but the feeling when you go over the top hill of a roller coaster at high speeds, or you go over a very tall hill in a fast car, that lurching feeling in your stomach as the bottom falls out. But it's momentary, and you're back into a compressionary environment. Oh, gravity, what a treat. And you are descending down and touching down. The ship shudders as the clamps engage on the landing. The airlock doors engage with the airlock doors in the ship, and the decompression sound in the airlock hisses throughout the ventilation of the ship.
Nice and smooth. Good job, Atticus.
Of course. Do you expect anything else?
No, but I'm just positive recognition is appropriate.
Oh, well, in that case, I appreciate your positive recognition.
Do you two keep it up? I'm going to need some sort of counseling meeting. Can we get down there?
Do you guys gather up your local equipment? Are you making stops at lockers and or equipment holdouts on the ship before you leave? Or are you just heading out with what is readily at hand, which is probably not so much?
Yeah, I'm totally going to my locker because I do not want to walk into a potential sticky situation without, well, let's just say some handy wipes.
Yep, I had already gathered up my bag with any sort of hypo sprays or whatever I'm going to bring with to help drug these people up, make them submissive if they're cannibals.
It seems like more of a lifestyle choice, Doctor. I mean, respect their boundaries, right?
Not when they're trying to eat me.
Oh, well, I mean, they should ask for consent at least.
Right. I mean,
They
that's
should.
Important.
Consent is sexy.
I'd imagine that it's probably standard protocol for me to carry some sort of small sidearm, and so that is what I will take with me.
It is, in fact, protocol. Well, I mean, you set the protocols on your ship, but the protocols outside of your ship by your employer state that you should be armed at all times.
Yeah, and I follow those protocols. Set to stun.
I suppose I should be armed as well.
All right, so I'll do what I can to not pry when we get there.
Oh, right.
I just want to let you know that.
You want to look in everybody's head?
Well, I'm trying to be a little bit forewarning about it, right? But new place, new people, I'm likely going to get pretty familiar with folks and how they think. And so if there's anything you want to tell me before we get going, I don't want any incidents like the last time, right?
Right.
Any buried dreams or any sort of feelings?
Look, I know I denied it, but I did eat your last choco bar.
Seriously? Do you know how expensive they are to get out here?
I know, that's why I ate the last one.
They're hard to come by.
All right. No weapons for me. I should be good.
All right. So you open the outer airlock door, which is now decompressed to the environment of Ouroboros Station. You don't see anyone on the airwalk or on the what they still call the gangplank, although it's more of a compression hallway now.
No welcome wagon?
Is there anything else here?
Well, usually there's at least one crew member.
Yeah. Well, it's strange because they cleared us, so they know that we're here, right?
They did clear us.
Everyone that was on the bridge heard it.
Is there any blood on the walls or the lights flickering on and off? You know, the kind of stuff you expect from an abandoned station of horror.
No flickering lights. The lights are all bright. So the inside of this welcoming bay of Ouroboros Station here, you are in welcoming bay 6. The inside of this hallway is not exactly sterile, but is definitely has a polished look to it that is meant to usher you further in. You're not supposed to get comfortable here, obviously. More utilitarian than anything. You would akin it to the hallways in I believe they used to call them airports back on old Earth.
Spacious, but comfortable as far as an airlock goes.
Without anyone further in, or you don't see anyone in this hallway, and it goes down a bit and turns to the left area. This is, as you approach, this is what it looks like. The docking bay, like the support modules and stuff, are embedded. They are large columns that are embedded in the asteroid itself. So it's up on essentially stilts, if you will, platform stilts, with a very low level of local gravity. The engineering is generally not a problem. This is the image that the computer brings up when you receive docking coordinates. It's a large facility. You would call it 3 levels. And it seems to have all of the functions: command center area, living quarters, the computer lists area for aquaponic gardens, and a full canteen and medical area.
Atticus, Lucian, which one of you wants to take point this time?
I think the captain should go first.
I whip out my tiny gun as a standard protocol that I have one. Yes, lead by example. You're absolutely right.
So you enter through the long corridor into the docking bay main area, where it seems like the cargo would be moved in and out of and stored for longer times if necessary. There's no direct access in this part of the docking bay to the environment outside.
Mm-hmm.
Large double doors are for utility, but there is a smaller door in here for obviously getting out of the docking bay. But it's particularly empty.
Yeah.
There's no crates. There's no pallets of goods. You also don't see any other docked ships here.
No, I wonder if someone came in and cleared this place out. Bandits or raiders or something. Are there any comm panels? Is this the type of station that has comm panels on the wall? Perhaps there was it sounded like there's some sort of interference when we were trying to get a hold of them before, but if we can access a comm panel here, we can maybe get a hold of someone to let them know we've arrived, like, hey, what's going on? Shout if there's danger on board.
Gotta be some sort of alert panel around here.
You guys fan out into the docking bay, all of your voices echoing out just a little bit off of the metal walls, until eventually, Lucian, you actually find over by one of the doors a comm panel. It is, you won't say rudimentary, but you've definitely worked with more advanced.
Okay, here's something. Take a look at it and see if I can, I guess, determine any sort of readouts or any sort of menu or prompts that I can...
You tap the power button to activate the menu. Screen blinks for a moment, black, and then a green prompt comes up. A small pixelated figure stands up from a chair and waves, very flipbook animation style, and a robotic voice. Welcome to Ouroboros Station. How may I direct your call?
Yeah, can I speak with someone on the bridge?
The bridge? I'm afraid I don't have a bridge. Do I look like I go over a Earth River? Ha ha ha. I do have a command center. If you would like to speak to the command center, press the green button now.
Oh, green.
This ship is an asshole. This space station is a dick.
I see what happened here. They all listened to this station for so long, they went mad.
Well, that's possible.
You hear a moment of silence and then an odd click and faint music in the background before you hear any voice. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Who? No. Oh God. Okay. And then the music swells and you hear, it's the song. It's a very, very old song, but you hear a crooning set of gentlemen singing a song of If I Didn't Care. Drowns out any other voice.
I look back at the captain. Okay, this is screwy.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, I don't know if there's some sort of AI malfunction on the ship, but yeah, this is definitely weird. But I mean, we knew that coming in. We knew that something obviously happened. That's why we've been sent here to investigate what has happened and recover any documents, research information from Project Omega. Wait, no, sorry, Project Quad.
Did we know that? I thought you knew that.
No, I did know that. I'm making the assumption. I shared all of that with you because you're my you're my crew, and I trust you. I would have shared. I mean, they're not gonna be like, "Hey, we got to go to this place," and I'm not gonna tell you why or anything about it. I mean, they know it's a research station. This is an investigative mission, and that we need to figure out what happened here.
Should we go to the command center? So far, it's the only person we've met.
I mean, that's likely the simplest of ways to do things. That guy sounded paranoid and said what we should do is just turn around and leave.
All right. Wait, we're not though, right?
No, absolutely. But there's a lot of places on the way.
Doc, are you standing nearby holding your med bag as they discuss whether or not to leave?
I hope she brought the antipsychotics.
I did, in fact, bring the stabilizers.
Only what's in her bloodstream.
I might have taken one before we left.
Okay, James, I would like to mind scan before we go anywhere else.
Okay.
So I would like to use one of my cool Trinity powers and scan the minds around me at medium range.
Okay. A character's dice pool always equals her psi trait plus the number of dots she has in the mode she's using.
Okay.
You can use, so whatever the dots of the power you're using and
psi.
Then whatever your psi dots are.
Cool. Okay, cool. I will do that then. That is 4 dice. So I will roll 4 dice.
Okay then. How many successes did you get?
So I have 3.
Fantastic. Lucian closes his eyes and extends a hand out for a moment, and all of you being psi active understand what he's doing as he concentrates a moment. He reaches out into the interior of the ship. Lucian, you feel minds all around you. You feel... They feel like bumps under a blanket of objects. You don't feel what the object is per se, but that they are there. You don't recognize anyone that you've sensed before. And everyone you feel in there that you can feel feels human. That being said, you're feeling an overwhelming sense of fear, desperation, and in the back of your head, you hear that damn song that was just playing over the comm, although the comm is not playing anymore. When you concentrate, you hear that song as if someone was playing it at the other end of a hallway or in an elevator on another floor.
I probably give a real long exhale after a minute. There are a lot of people really afraid here. I'm not sure what they're afraid of, but that hold music, it's so loud I can hear it in my head.
That's unusual.
On the flip side, I haven't sensed any presences that aren't human. So, there's that.
So no xenomorphs?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe they're still in their eggs.
The door to the docking bay opens after just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take long. It whisks open. That tune, you hear it briefly for a moment, and then it cuts off, as if somebody had turned off a record player or had hit stop on a music file. The lights in here are on and cheerful. The walls are painted to resemble a picket fence, you believe it was called. You've seen photos. Definitely a fence of some sort with white spikes sticking up out of the ground. And the wall above is painted blue with white smudges all over it and crudely painted trees occasionally.
What do you think that is?
And it's not just the hallway in front of you, but it's the hallway stretching off in both directions or down around the facility ring.
Oh, right. Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've been
You
in
got some
space
of the
too long.
space crazies.
Yep. When you forget what trees look like, there was a sudden little voice inside of you that says, yeah, maybe we should get planet side somewhere for a little while.
Hey, James, does the floor have those lines, those colored lines that lead you to certain places? Like take a red, it takes you to the command center.
Yes, they do. We have red goes to the med bay, red to med. Blue goes to command. And green seems to lead off to the gardens and the living quarters.
Well, let's take blue.
All right. Lead the way, Doctor. After all, it's your profession, right?
I look around. Yeah, I have no weapon. Squishies first.
It's fine, Karina. I will continue taking point on this.
You also see that there is a black line, too, that isn't attached to a sign or designation.
I bet that's research.
Yeah, it certainly could be.
Yeah, we'll go head up to the command center, see what's going on, and then maybe circle back. We can monitor other areas there and see where we need to target first after that. I'll follow the line.
All right. So you toe the line and TOE and begin walking. Don't walk long, 5-10 minutes before you find a hallway branch that goes into the command center column and an elevator that goes up. Are all four of you going with?
Yeah, I think we'd stick together.
Are there there's no stairs, huh?
There are no stairs, no.
I wanted to take the stairs because I don't trust the AI on this ship, and I feel like we're going to be subjected to some maddening elevator music, but...
Stairs? What is this, the 21st century?
I don't know, some sort of access tube that has a ladder of sorts that one must crawl around to access any part of the ship at any point in time.
Are you asking about, you're looking for a Jeffrey's tube?
Look, I don't know who Jeffrey is, but he made some nice tubes.
After a few minutes of looking around, you do find a maintenance hatch that would give you a ladder that goes up to the command center, you assume, but the climbing area is not very large, so you're not going to go very quickly.
Are you saying I'm too big for this tube that Jeffrey built?
Clearly, Jeffrey, whoever Jeffrey was, they were a small individual. Yes, when he made his tubes.
Hey, Cat.
Yes. What do you need?
You could just pop on in there. I mean, how hard would it be?
I am claustrophobic, so no thank you this time. I guess just...
No, I mean to the command center. You could just... You don't need to wait for us. You could just go.
Well, no, you know that regulations state that we should always travel at least in pairs, so...
I mean, rules were made to be broken.
Rules were made for safety, and I think we should abide by them, so... If you are scared of entering the command center, possibly the most secure part of the ship, you're welcome to stay down here with either Lucian or Atticus, and I will take.
Oh, I'm not scared. I am ready to let's do this. I'm ready.
I've been holding the elevator this whole time. So for a while, I wandered over, and I just keep shoving my arm in. Yeah.
I'm sorry, there seems to be some sort of obstruction in my closing apparatus. Could one of you perhaps remove the obstruction in my closing apparatus? Could one of you perhaps remove the obstruction from my closing apparatus? Thank you. After a moment, the doors close. Thank you. Command center, you are whisked upward. Just a second later, the doors whisk back open and you are on the command center. A ring-shaped room splays out in front of you. You see part of it, and as you exit the elevator, you can see that it wraps around the central column so that you can see in all directions out across the asteroid. You don't immediately see anyone.
We did talk to somebody, right?
Well, I mean, technically I spoke with a computer. Oh, you mean from the command center?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy on the other line as far as I know.
Hey, is anybody here? Hello? I start walking around. Hello.
As you are strolling about, Atticus, you are heading around one area of the ring here, looking at the various display panels and the various information that's being scrolled across them. Only, you would say, if you had to guess, maybe 30% of this information pertains to the systems that seem to be running the station. The rest of it is a lot of really heavy-duty compressed data, and it seems to be coming out of that wing area. And as you're looking at the data, you hear a click sound, and you feel something pressed up against your head from an arm that sticks out of a utility cabinet.
Oh, hey. No need for that.
The hand and arm, as you look up them, are attached to a fairly emaciated-looking man who he also looks like he hasn't shaved in quite a while. His eyes are somewhat sunken in. His hand is shaking as he's pointing the gun at you. And he's looking at you with a mixture of absolute terror and maybe just a glint of hope, but mostly terror.
It's all right. It's all right. I put my hands in a defensive posture.
He wavers the gun for a moment, points it at you, and points it back at Atticus.
No. Point the gun over here. Point it right at me.
It doesn't seem to dawn on him any difference, so he does so.
No, it's fine. It's right here. What's going on, buddy?
Can't you hear it? You telling me you can't hear that?
Hear what?
He tilts his head a little, as if he's listening to something that he doesn't have to strain too hard to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not hear it now. It's everywhere. That goddamn song. It's like a tooth drill.
Mm.
You know, I liked it when it started. I did. I looked it up. It's so old. I mean, it's so old. It's such an old song. And it was almost pretty. But now, I mean, it won't fucking stop. Mike, make me a cunning survival roll.
Ooh.
Yes, please.
Interesting. Cunning survival for illusion is 3 dice. What's the defend the system? 8?
Yes, 8.
I have 2.
Okay. You're cunning enough in this case to be looking at exactly the right area, exactly the right place at the right time. And your knack for survival has made it so that you're looking at the right areas at the right time. And in this case, he blinks as if a light is switched on and it's just a moment. The rest of you just see him grimace as if he's hearing the song. But what you see is something passes behind the lens of his left eye.
Ooh.
You see Lucian take an involuntary step back when he sees that, just a little.
I'm going to give this man a direct command because I have a deep concern about what's happening here.
Okay.
I'm going to command him to take a nap.
Interesting.
But I'm going to do it in a really nice way.
Aw, that's nice of you.
Hey, buddy, you look like you could really use a nap.
He starts to mumble something about how he hasn't been able to sleep in days and what makes you think as you are rolling.
Very good. I have 3 successes. So just looking at the command intensity, a 3 would be enough for a major command. Help someone you don't like. Take a break without permission. Work to hinder or slightly harm someone you don't care about.
And in this case, he's scared. It seems to be that he is scared of not just you, although just your momentary talking to him seems to have developed some sort of bond you can feel, which you actually are utilizing that momentary hope channel to give him the command, a nice command, to go to sleep. He rubs his eye, the left eye, in like a sleepy toddler. Yeah, I haven't slept in days. You're right. Listen, can you just watch the door for a minute while I close my eyes? My head hurts so bad. And he starts to slump down in this utility locker.
And sort of make sure that he doesn't hurt himself.
Take the gun out of his hand.
After a moment, the weapon, a hyposyringe, a needle or syringe, falls out of his hand. While you don't know if it would have killed you, Atticus, you're not 100% certain what is in it, if anything. And if it had been just an air draw, that would have killed you.
Okay, so I sort of step over and adjust him. Help me get him on a table or something. Yeah. The doctor can look at him.
Between the two of you, you drag him over to a planning table here in the comm area. Captain Howard, they are moving the body over towards this table and pushing it up on. What are you doing?
Providing moral encouragement and support.
Okay. So poking them both with a sharp stick as they go.
Directing. Right over here. Yep, that's good. Right over here. Yep, you guys got it. Good job. Because positive reinforcement is how you maintain positive ship morale.
Being a captain is all about team building. That's right.
She's actually got a poster in her cabin that's got a cat hanging on it.
Hang in there, kitty.
Dr. Oakenwick is currently looking for various supplies with which to examine this guy as he is currently deep asleep. He is not struggling, so once you get him on, which takes just a moment, once you get him onto the table, which takes only a second, you both have your hands free essentially to do other things. And what would you like those things to do? As I'm sure the doctor is in her belladonic haze is going to bend over the body and begin to examine it.
I saunter my way over to the body and,
I mean,
nice job, Lucian. And I didn't want to deal with an unruly patient. Already got to deal with enough unruly captain. I say that under my breath.
Oh.
So I'd like to use I'm going to pronounce this totally incorrectly. Carolean Eye.
Yep, Carolean Eye.
According to what I read, I only need to roll psi for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, it's like Carolean photography. Yes, you can see auras, you can see health spots in a body.
And so it just it gives me some idea of what's going on. Oh, did Lucian tell me about the thing floating behind the guy's eye?
Nope.
No, I haven't yet. Which is what I'm about to do.
And is it anything over an 8 is a success?
Yes.
I get 1 success.
You begin to give him a precursory examination. As you begin the examination, he's obviously sleep deprived, malnourished, suffering from partial dehydration, and he's running a fever currently. It looks like he has, as you look him over on the sides of his shoulder and his neck, it looks like needle marks or track marks.
I mean, well, he's definitely not healthy. He's not, I'm talking to myself as I'm doing this so the others can hear me. I mean, yeah.
His left eye, doctor, that's one of the things. I saw something flash behind it. He was complaining about hearing music. I got to tell you, I'm already a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm putting shields up just so you're all aware.
Yeah, he's got...
Everyone else in the room, your ears pop.
Yeah, he's got some needle marks on the side of his neck. I can't say from what, but... And so I open his eye to look at his left eye. I have my light out. And,
maybe a parasite or something?
Yeah.
It's possible.
So what do I see, James?
You look into his eye and you hold it open. You flash the light over it. You flash the light over it once, and then something in his eye flashes a light back.
Oh, I jump back a little startled. There's something in there.
And then something swims by the lens.
Oh.
It's tiny, whatever it is. Obviously, it fits in his eyeball.
Oh, that is just... Oh, I don't want anything in my eye. Yeah. Can I use my... I'm not going to use my psi on him. We got to save that for somebody special. Can I use roll medicine?
So let me describe that before you roll medicine.
Okay.
When you look, the rest of you see the doc... Don't want to say zone out, because you know that zoning out is not the appropriate term for this. She shifts her gaze towards parts of the body that you know that she can only see, or in ways that she can only see. What you see, Dr. Oakenwick, is the totality of this man physically in various rainbow shades. You see parts of him that look like they've had surgery in the past, old scars, parts that maybe have been removed, like an appendix, which is natural. But what you also see is in him are small black empty spaces that a tiny part of your brain akins them to a type of melon that you were offered one time at a banquet when you were younger. It was delicious and sweet and red. They said it was nearly extinct, but it had these little black bits in there that they told you couldn't eat. The servants came around and collected all of them. But you akin it to that, these little holes inside of this spinning, colorful aura that is this person, which is unfortunately, the aura is very weak. But what really disturbs you is that as you look closer, and the rest of you see Dr. Oakenwick's face very unprofessionally screw up in a look of disgust, is that the little black spaces are moving.
Like the little holes?
Yes, the little void spaces inside of him, yes, the little void spaces in his aura are moving. And as you look, one of them is in its eye.
Oh, so... he's got a parasite in his aura. That is so cool, but not good. It's not good.
Okay, no one eat anything, no one drink anything, no one put any needles from this place into you.
The rest of you, she says that, and you all have a moment where you have the very human instinct to step away from the body that you all keep referring to as a body, although he is still breathing quite steadily on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get too close, just in case. I don't know how this is being transmitted after I've already touched him with hopefully gloved hands, but probably not.
I assumed that you're using your scanner tech, your medical scanner tech, to actually poke and prod at him, not your actual hands.
Well, to open his eye, I probably used my hands.
A doctor should know better than to just walk around willy-nilly touching shit that he doesn't know where it's been. Come on now. Yeah, in fact, Dr. Oakenwick, you look at your hand just momentarily with a note that you did, in fact, hold his eye open while you were looking into it. But the rest of you involuntarily look around the room as she does that.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily just from touching things. I think that the broadcast message is what got to this guy. It's all he was talking about was the sound, the old music.
Well, maybe the parasites are what's
Like an antenna.
got the sound in his head.
Like an organic antenna?
Yeah.
I mean, it might not even be parasites. It might be like nanobots or something like that.
But didn't we hear it in the background when Lucian called the command center?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. So maybe there's a originator of the message. We're going to need to put on full body condoms if we want to keep going in here, okay?
Hey, by the way, I noticed that there's data poured into the command center from the research wing here.
Maybe they were researching something and something got loose and is now there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we could try going to either the command center or the research center and trying to find a way to stop this at the source.
Is there a way for us to electronically shut things down in the research area before we go? If this is some sort of transmission of audio, if we can keep life support on but shut down electronics there remotely.
Oh, yeah, shut down comms.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a tech bro, so you're going to probably have to figure something out.
Aren't you the communication specialist?
Yeah, but specialist is a massaged term, you understand.
He's not good at stopping communicating, as we've heard before.
Repeatedly.
Listen, the monologue is an effective weapon against some people, okay?
Well, that's awesome. Hey, hey, what's your... Oh my God, I think I took too much. Atticus. Yeah. Hey,
yes.
Do you want to do a scan of maybe we can find that song on a different wavelength and maybe pinpoint that? I mean, if y'all want to go running down right to the research lab where there might be monsters, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a system scan, I guess. See if there's anything unusual.
As you do.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
It would be a intellect technology roll, please.
Can I assist him?
You may assist him.
I have one success.
Okay. Will be nice and just roll that success right over into his pool.
Okay, so that gives me 3 successes.
And you are checking the system to figure out where that audio file is originating from?
Yeah, or if there's something piggybacking on communications or something like that.
Okay. It takes him about a good 10 minutes of computer time. Atticus is hunched over one of the computers that seems to already be running data, and he is hunched over this system, tappity, 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 as you. So for about 10 minutes, he is occupied. What you discover, the audio signal that is playing, in fact, does have another signal overlaid on it, but it's an information signal, and you're not entirely certain. It almost looks like a bioorganic signal, like a BioWare signal or a cyberware signal. But the energy it's carrying is a lot higher and seems to change oscillation a lot.
It seems like it's a biomechanical signal like you'd find in cyberware or BioWare, but it's a lot more powerful and it keeps changing.
Okay. Be all sorts of adaptive tech.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to find a source. But I do kind of feel like we should put some sort of protective suits on.
Well, you got suits back in the ship. You could also reason that there would probably be suits somewhere in the aquaponic gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely in the medical bay.
You know what? We should go to the medical bay. I think they might have some information that we could use. You know, they might have, once it started, been able to find something out.
I'm picking up on it when you say that there's information that you can use what you mean every time we go to a medical bay.
I'm not the doctor.
No, he's far more subtle. Point being, though, we may also want to consider that we may already be infected.
Right.
And so going back to the ship might be a bad idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, head to the medical facility, see if there's some sort of suits there that we could use, and then perhaps through, liberal use of the rules of acquisition, we could acquire certain things.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a big enough bag. Hey, what do we want to do with this guy?
Oh, we'll find one. He's taking a nap.
Yeah,
Okay.
really likes it. It's nice and relaxing.
That said, maybe, Doctor, you give him a sedative anyway. That's what I would do.
I think that's a great idea. Do you want one too? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
So you give him a sedative?
I do.
Okay. She reaches into her med kit there and pulls out one of the hypo sticks. His Mike, you can tell that as a registered consciousness, it definitely drops from, you would say, a 5 to like a 2.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I can't until we figure out how to cure this. I can't do anything. So he's probably better off sleeping.
As far as I'm concerned or consider, Captain, I think this should be standard operating procedure for every carbon-based life form we find when we're here. We put them to sleep and then sort things out later.
We might run out. No, we're going to the med bay. It's fine. I'll stock up on more for our ship.
Okay. All right. So you get back into the elevator and head back down the main column to the station ring proper, where all of the rest of them are. All the rest of the rooms are. The elevator doors whisk open. Thank you. We're back at the main floor. Enjoy your day. The doors open, and after the computer, quote unquote, jollily, or, bids you farewell in a jolly manner, there is a woman standing in the main hallway in front of you. She's wearing an odd teal gown of some sort. The bottom flares out a little bit. Her shoes are of an appropriate matching color and have a raised heel on the back. They are not at all practical for anything resembling any kind of space work, station work. Her hair has been done up in a odd configuration that resembles some sort of cloud. And she's wearing a bracelet made of what look like pearls and a necklace to match. She raises one hand up in a very elegant pose. She's wearing white gloves, they're very delicate. She says, "Well, it's about time you guys came downstairs. It is almost time for tea." She smiles at you. Her smile is not uncomfortable, but definitely does not reach her eyes.
And look at the captain.
I don't want tea.
What?
I don't want tea.
And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you guys for joining me this week for episode 1 of the Trinity Aeon arc. Ouroboros Station, please respond. I hope you enjoyed episode 1, and I look forward to seeing you all back here quite soon for episode 2. Thank you guys, and good night. I have a tendency to prattle on. No, really, it's true. No, it's true. It's true. I'm telling you.
Okay, did you want me just to give them to you in the Trinity channel? Do you want me to DM you
Trinity
directly? How do you
fine.
want me to do them?
That way,
Okay.
way we
The
also
ship is
all
the
can kind of
Persephone, right?
see
The ship is the Persephone.
if there's somebody who's trying to do something, but they have a way to make it shorter and more action-packed, then they can also adjust themselves accordingly. Just as I've learned, don't adjust yourself on camera.
Fantastic.
They don't like that as much. So, well, proper audience.
Certainly. Okay.
I think the captain should go first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Captain, you are definitely, for introductions, you have to be.
Thank you. We're back at the main floor. Enjoy your day. The doors open. There is a woman standing in the main hallway in front of you. She's wearing an odd teal gown of some sort. The bottom flares out a little bit. Her shoes are of an appropriate matching color and have a raised heel on the back. They are not at all practical for anything resembling any kind of space work, station work. Her hair has been done up in a odd configuration that resembles some sort of cloud. And she's wearing a bracelet made of what look like pearls and a necklace to match. She raises one hand up in a very elegant pose. She's wearing white gloves, they're very delicate. She says, "Well, it's about time you guys came downstairs. It is almost time for tea." She smiles at you. Her smile is not uncomfortable, but definitely does not reach her eyes.
And look at the captain.
I don't want tea.
And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you guys for joining me this week for episode 1 of the Trinity Aeon arc. Ouroboros Station, please respond. I hope you enjoyed episode 1, and I look forward to seeing you all back here quite soon for episode 2. Thank you guys, and good night.